This is Josh and Jay's Excellent Video Game Show. Hello and welcome to Josh and Jay's
Excellent
Video Game Show, episode 68. We made it to 68?
68 already.
They said it couldn't be done.
I am your co-host, Joshua.
And I am your co-host, Jay.
And I am your co-host, Rowan.
Yeah, let's hear it for the co-host.
Guys, we gotta say hi to our KWTF listeners.
Hello, KWTF listeners. Thanks for joining us today.
Maybe they're in their cars.
Maybe they're sitting in front of a box that plays video games.
Maybe they're huddled around the radio like all old-timey, like with their whole family listening to our show Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock.
Maybe they're
it's like The Shadow.
Maybe they're in prison and the only possession they have is a radio, and this is the only thing they get to listen to.
Shout out to our prisoner listeners.
I couldn't think of a worse punishment. Could you?
Yeah. If you're in good behavior, that you can listen to Giant Bomb.
Okay, so
Burn.
yes. So I don't know, man.
Jay Pullman, how many
I don't
next
know.
generation video game consoles do you have pre-ordered right now?
2.
Oh,
You're taking it down to the wire.
Yeah,
he's
well,
all in, man.
well, the Xbox One doesn't come out for another almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out, the PS4 release will only be a couple days away.
Yeah.
That's coming. I'm just sort of waiting for that to show up and for me to be like, oh yeah, here's a brand new thing that exists for real in real life before I hit cancel on my
Friday
Xbox
when
One.
the PS4 comes out is your last chance to cancel. Okay, through Microsoft, it's your last chance to cancel.
I pre-ordered it through Amazon.
You can cancel it.
You can cancel as long as you cancel it before it ships.
Okay.
You're cool.
Okay.
And I believe they ship them 2 days before the release date to get there with 2-day shipping.
I had a dream last night that
All the PS4s and all the Xbox Ones would live together.
yeah.
Woo.
No, it was just my dream was just about like that I messed up, that I should have ordered a PS4 instead of
Oh my god.
You had an anxiety dream
Yeah, I woke
about
up
your console?
super upset.
Whoa. And what do you think that means?
Well, first of all, I can't order a PS4 now, so I'm all in.
Do you think it has something to do with your mom?
I think it has maybe. I think it has something to do with all these gosh darn games coming out in 720p on the Xbox One and 1080p on the PlayStation 4. Burn. Who would have thought that? Burn.
You
Burn.
care deeply about your peas?
I don't know.
Hold on.
I
you
can't
guys,
now.
You guys really want to get into it? You guys really want to get this hype train started with the peas?
Let's talk about some next gen.
Because we're about to introduce some peas.
This is the last podcast of this console generation.
Last podcast. This console generation.
So tip of 40 for the Xbox 360
And now.
and the PlayStation 3
Yeah, that's all the hype we
and
got.
the Wii
Sorry.
U
The hype machine. And the DS.
and the DS.
Wait.
So Vita, right? I want a Vita again. I traded my Vita for a PS3 last Christmas.
I am not surprised that you feel like that was a mistake.
I recently gave my PlayStation 3 to my friend Joe, and then I wanted to watch Star Wars on Blu-ray for the first time. I wanted to watch a Blu-ray ever. I don't have a Blu-ray player.
Your computer doesn't have one?
No, does yours?
I don't think so. I thought it did, but I guess I didn't order one.
Aren't Blu-ray disc drives for your PC not that much now?
I'm sure. Yeah. But the Xbox One will have a Blu-ray player, so
Yeah,
Star Wars will be there.
Star Wars will be there.
Do you hook up your HD DVD player to it to play Blu-rays?
I still have that thing somewhere. I should hook that up.
HD DVD player. That thing had peas.
I got oh yeah, I had 1080p's. I bought a bunch of HD DVDs once just on clearance. I have a bunch of those.
So you have half. You're the one that has half of them. Then some other dude bought the other half,
Yeah.
and those are all the HD.
Dangerous
DVDs.
Dave bought the other half.
Right.
That thing was killer. It was big.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably as big as the PlayStation 4.
Clunky.
Did it play Laserdiscs?
No, it wasn't that big. So what's up with these Ps?
I don't know. I don't really care.
I don't care either.
Which is funny because...
But you don't care, but you're also playing... You're going to be playing Call of Duty Ghosts in 1080p.
No, I don't see that happening.
The only P I care for is PC. Master race.
That's sort of the thing about this, which is why I kind of don't... One of the reasons I don't care is, first of all, I don't even know if I'll be able to tell the difference. Second of all, on my television. But then the other thing is, in 2 years, 3 years, our PCs will be playing 4K. I mean, it doesn't matter. My PC right now can play games probably better than the PlayStation 4. So it's like this. They're already coming out of the gate gimped. So it doesn't matter.
You know, our buddy Ben Abraham was ranting on Twitter about this new console generation, and I think there was lots of all caps tweets about how you don't need a new console and just your PC. One PC to rule them all.
He doesn't get the whole thing.
Did he actually talk about how the PC is all you need? Because all I saw was like anti-corporate stuff, which I'm fine with, but I just didn't see the.
No, he definitely there was a nod to the fact that all you need is a PC.
Yeah, I mean
to play next gen games.
There are.
But that's always been the case.
Yeah, that defeats the console is the console because it's like this nice little package that sits there, and there's something kind of cool about having it in your living room and having
Steam box.
What is that? What is that? We'll talk about that later.
When we get our Steam boxes.
Yeah.
The hype machine.
When I win the beta lottery and get my Steam box.
The hype machine.
I have a Steam box, basically.
Yeah, you do. It's got wires that connect.
But Jay, you're with me on this, that a console is just kind of a different thing.
Yes, console is a different thing.
It is, but initially in the console cycle, when they're full price, when they've got like 10 games and 2 of them are worth a damn and 1 of them is actually good, it's pretty easy to say, hey, it's okay not to care about this until they have games that are worth a damn, until you can start getting better deals on things.
Sure. But the consoles, I mean, they don't go down in price that much.
It depends on how they sell.
Sometimes I think that Rowan is secretly cheap-ass gamer.
It's anonymously?
No, he's working through like an alias.
Is that what
Running
is
that
that?
The alias being cheap ass gamer?
Is cheap ass gamer like a no one knows who he is type thing?
No.
Oh.
He's like a dude.
Ever since I stopped getting their like nightly subscription things, new forum threads, which had all the new deals that came out that day, I've spent so much less money on games. And it's like, obviously the point was not to spend money on games in the first place, but
it's like a Steam sale.
Yeah, it's like I'm
gonna save some money by buying 400 games I'm never gonna play.
Right.
It's like, oh, another PS3 game for $15 that I don't really actually want to play and will probably be messed up on my TV anyway.
Yeah.
I need to get new wires.
I have to say, I can't, if I'm completely honest, it does bum me out on some level that the PlayStation 4 is more powerful graphically than the Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, but if the games run well, then who cares?
Well, I'm sure they're going down to 720 and all the bells and whistles are on. You know what I mean? It's just like on your PC.
Right. I would much rather res to I don't know what I'm saying, to 720p from 1080 and get all of the textures, ambient occlusion and stuff that sounds like Sylvia Plath poetry.
Right. And the other things is I'm not going to have 2 TVs, one with the PS4 and one with the Xbox One, both running Assassin's Creed 4 pixel hunting anyway. So
right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, I still have, I wish I went and checked out, I went to Best Buy and they had the Xbox One set up next to the PlayStation 4 setup.
Yes.
And there's something about, I have no desire really for a PlayStation 4. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's all that blue or like.
It's because the PlayStation 3 has left such a gross taste in your mouth. And I don't blame you because it has for me too. And the one thing that I'm sort of nervous about is I'm thinking about when Mass Effect 4 is going to come out. And is that going to run like crap on the PS4 for some weird proprietary reason?
Haven't they assuaged all your fears of that? It's because there's like a similar architecture. They're kind of, there's no weird cell processor.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But still, I mean, is the DLC going to be weird timed exclusive? Is it? all of that
Yes.
nonsense.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff has always worked in Microsoft's favor, and I'm a little worried about losing that advantage.
But wasn't that just because they came out a year early, so they got that's where everyone was playing multiplayer, so they got the multiplayer advantage. And then...
Well, it wasn't just that. It was also that Xbox Live had all the architecture set up.
Yeah, I hadn't finished
Yes.
talking. So it was also that Xbox had all the architecture set up to make it easier for people to develop for.
Burn.
They also had that headset built into every single one, so everybody knew you could go online, you could talk to people. It was like the online box in America, so where people play online games.
Yeah, it's
So-
an America Online box.
But that's not the case this time. And also, by all accounts, the PlayStation 4 controller is supposed to be awesome. And I really didn't like the DualShock 3, so...
Yeah, the PlayStation controller's fine.
Have you tried? You've
I have not tried the
Oh.
new PlayStation controller.
I mean, people
yet.
like are raving about it. Like, it just feels really, really good. Like the kind of like, you know how the Xbox controller just feels
Yes.
so good. Like it's
Yes.
supposed to feel as good or better than that. So
Yeah, I mean, I still, don't get me wrong, I still play PC games with my Xbox 360 controller. I use that 360 controller if I can help it, because
Right.
that thing just is really comfortable.
But the new PlayStation controller is supposed to be good.
Cool. It's got that little swipe bar thing, that like swath pad. I don't even know what it's like a weird little touch strip.
Yeah, so
Sensual.
that's-
really, it's super sensual.
Wait, we need to talk about whack controller stuff. Do we have a
600,000
whack
penises.
controller theme, hype theme, new controllers, next gen controllers?
Oh,
Next gen controllers. So the DualShock 4 has that weird swipey thing, like the swipey touchscreen,
Yeah.
and the new Xbox controller,
Which
has,
looks like a typewriter ribbon to me.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does, Jay.
I want to save Resident Evil games on the PlayStation 4 controller.
So that's its whack thing, and then the Xbox has the rumbles and the triggers.
Oh yeah, the trigger rumbles, and that sounds pretty cool. When I actually read, who was talking about it? Kirk Hamilton
Yeah, Forza, right?
on Kotaku. He was sort of breaking. He did those two breakdowns, right? Like here's the PS4 breakdown minus the hype.
And then you did Xbox minus
And
the
then
hype. Yeah, I
Xbox
read
minus the hype. And one of the high points of the Xbox breakdown was the sort of extra like complicated rumble stuff going on in the controller.
Yeah,
I don't know how
sure.
I don't know if I really care that much about rumble
Well, it's the
stuff,
same
but
as
it
that
sounds
little
cool.
touch strip. It's like, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Both of them, oh, well, one doesn't come with a camera, but with Kinect. Did you see the Xbox UI thing that just came out? It was like a 14-minute video they just put out like yesterday or the day before.
Was it
was like a
because
fake
they had
living room.
to after that
Yeah.
that guy leaked after
Yeah.
Target sent him his Xbox One
Oh, that's a whole nother
early.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see it, but I've seen pictures of the UI, and it basically looks like all the other Windows tile Metro screen.
It looks pretty slick
Windows
though
8
in
stuff.
motion.
It looks like Trevor's phone in GTA 5.
Right. But as there's no games I want to play for either system at launch, then I clearly made the correct decision for me that I get a sweet UI to mess around with.
Absolutely.
Snap them,
You
snap
can't play
stuff around.
You can't play any games. You can at least
Get to Netflix, so cool.
I want to pause Minecraft and jump right into Netflix, then go right back to Minecraft, and then right back to Netflix, and then right to Hulu Plus, then back
I'll
to Minecraft.
Skype you while you're doing that.
Skype me, dude.
Yeah.
and you can show everyone what you're doing in the UI on Twitch while you're doing it.
Yeah, I'll record my 30 second. Every 30 seconds, I'm recording a new video and put up on Twitch.
Be like, this is how you get into Netflix.
Though I did see some hands-on people were talking about.
This is how you get into Skype.
I saw some people talking about how the Kinect still has that thing where like they're at an Xbox event, so they're showing off like Xbox, Hulu, Xbox this, Xbox. But anytime they're like ask a question, so does the Xbox? The little thing would pop up. Hey, what's up? What do you need? Xbox, I wasn't talking to you. What's up? But with Kinect.
So the Kinect is basically the paperclip given sort of a different form.
Clippy?
He's a fickle
Yeah.
pickle.
Clippy from Microsoft Word.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is
definitely.
Clippy from Microsoft Word.
It looks like you want to play a video game.
It looks like. Oh my god. It is so.
How many P's would you like your video game in?
Dude, it is killing me that Jay's gonna have a console before I have a console.
Do you
It's
know
just
what?
literally killing me.
Hey, you have the Wii U.
Yeah, that's right.
Fuck that shit. Oh, whoops.
Nintendo. I'm sorry. Nintendo.
See, you can't not swear for the first hour if Nintendo comes out. Although I will say the Nintendo games are in 1080p.
Ooh.
You know? Burn.
That's true.
They're GameCube games, but still.
Hey, the GameCube had some good games.
Yeah.
That's
like
right.
Wind Waker for the Wii U.
Yeah, Eternal Darkness.
Where is Skies of Arcadia HD?
Deadly Premonition, Jay.
Yeah, Deadly Premonition.
The guy that made that has
Sweary.
has an indie game coming out for Xbox One launch.
Yeah,
looks
it's
weird.
D4.
Yeah.
It looks super weird, and I can't wait to check it out.
You can come check it out at my house. Oh, you're getting one too. You're getting both consoles. Man, I screwed
No,
up.
I'm not getting both consoles.
You're going to cancel one?
Yeah, I'm canceling the Xbox. Is it only on Xbox?
Yeah.
That's Sweary, the new Sweary 65 game.
Ah, cool. All right, now
That's
I feel
only
better.
that. What does the D4 stand for? It's like director's dream of.
It stands for you can't play it with a DualShock 4.
Yeah. Damn.
Burn. Only on Xbox One.
That's weird. That seems weird to me, but whatever.
Yeah? Well, guess what? You can't play Rise either.
Well, I guess Deadly Premonition was a 360 game that they only released on PS3 later, right? And then it just came out for PC.
It might be like that what's that indie game for PS4 that's coming out? But
Octodad?
no, that looks cool.
Yeah, it does look hella cool.
No, the one like Myst but by the Braid guy.
The Witness, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a puzzle game in a forest.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
on
I'm
an
gonna be
island,
playing
I
the
think.
Witness.
On an island, yeah. On
I'm
a
gonna
forest.
I'm gonna be playing the Witness.
Not at launch, you aren't.
And oh my god, I'm gonna play it so hard and not get it, like not understand what it's supposed to be about, but really enjoy it.
My point is that's coming out
It's
on
about
everything.
regret. White male regret.
It's not an exclusive, is what I'm saying.
So it's about the internet.
Do you have a tumbleweed
I'm lost.
sound clip?
Woo.
That's the closest.
Woo.
So that game that's Swervy, is that what you said?
Sweary.
Sweary, that's probably gonna come out on everything else later, like that Braid Creator game.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, the Deadly Premonition came out on PC like 5 years later,
Yeah,
but it came out on PC,
yeah.
or it's going to. I'm not sure if it's
No,
out.
it's out.
out.
It came out.
All right. Steam sale ahoy.
Yeah, that will be a good one to pick up on the Steam sale. I mean, Rowan, you will. I'm curious to see what you'd think of it, just because it is such a weird ass game.
He's the one who did Killer 7, right?
No, that's a different
Yeah,
dude.
you're
that
thinking
guy
of-
did the that Wii game where you run
No
around.
More Heroes.
Yeah,
No More Heroes, and the more recent one that got really poor reviews.
The Lollipop Chainsaw?
No, not Lollipop Chainsaw. It was, what the heck was it?
I was looking at it on
It's-
Xbox On Demand. Like,
It's a shooty game.
you'd think we'd have some way of looking this
yeah,
stuff
it's
up.
like it's
To the internets.
Yeah, whatever.
whatever. It's not worth looking up because
We don't care how-
sounds,
it-
it sounds horrible.
It's got too few P's.
Yeah, too few P's. But it's. I was actually listening to Tom Bissell on some other podcast.
You're cheating on us.
No, not. It's not like a podcast.
was
of
it called
people-
some other podcast?
No, it wasn't. It's on one of. It was on one of like the Nerdist associated podcasts, and he. I liked what he had to say about Deadly Premonition and Swery 65, that studio, and Swery, the dude who designed it. Is that he just like doesn't give a crap about video game like tropes, or not tropes, but like sort of the bare bones stuff that like are sort of expected. Like, this is how you make a video game. It's like somebody trying to make a movie outside of the studio system or something, or outside even like the indie system, doing it like The Room or something. Are you familiar with that idea? So something like along those lines, but
A lot of, that
He just like doesn't care about what any of the rules are supposed to be.
But that's kind of like the majority of PlayStation 2 games. I feel like when I used to play PlayStation 2 games, they were just so whack and trying to figure out how stuff works.
It feels very much like it's got that same kind of mentality for sure. Yeah, it does. It totally harkens back to that's weird. Those
remember you just
weird
throw in
games.
some game you rented and you're like, this is so weird. Like what is this?
Yeah,
work?
I'll still never forget how weird I thought it was that the fighting game Tobal Number 1.
Oh yeah.
How that had like an adventure mode where
I don't remember that. Oh wait, yeah, I do. Yeah.
where it wasn't just like a 2D or like semi-isometric 2D like Virtua Fighter style, because that's what it was when you play versus mode. But it had like a story mode where you would run through like a dungeon, like running through different corridors, fighting people, and it was super weird because fighting games didn't really do that.
Did you ever get into Monster Rancher?
No.
I mean, I got so into Monster Rancher, but it had stuff like that, just weird stuff like that.
I like that the new generation coming up is making us get really stoked for PS2 games.
Yeah. Well, people are doing. There's a lot of indie stuff coming out, on consoles that you normally wouldn't. So
you have Unity to do PS2 level stuff for free,
and Unity is free with your Xbox One dev.
Are you
license.
serious?
You got to get a dev kit.
Yeah.
All Xbox Ones can become dev kits once you're licensed.
Gary's he's hip to all this already.
So show them your RPG Maker game, and you'll be right there.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously? Yeah.
Yeah, your Marvel Brothels, is that what it was called?
No, it's called.
No, that's the one that I'm playing.
It was called Day of the Feech.
Excellent.
Day of the Feech.
Yeah, the Coco host.
The Coco host.
Rowan.
When it snows, we should make some hot cocoa, and we can all be cocoa hosts.
Not really.
Next gen hype. Jay Pullman, what are you gonna play when you unpack your
And
PS4?
now, introducing your PS4 and Xbox One starting lineup.
At 5'6", a graduate from, what was it, Illinois?
5'6". I'm a little bit taller than that, Rowan. That's,
Whatever. You're all 5'6", except for Josh.
That's true,
I'm 6 exactly.
Rowan is 8'7". I'm gonna be playing Assassin's Creed 4.
Me too. You know why? Because what else are we gonna play? Fucking things like.
I know that's why I announced both the competing teams starting lineup together, because it's all the same player. It's just the one.
Yeah.
The one player.
It's the only game.
No, you're not gonna play Rise or Reese, Son of Rome.
Unless that thing comes out and it's like the reviews are off the hook on Rise. They're like, this game surprises all.
Something tells me they're not gonna be. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. No,
Why?
that game looks like
I don't know, Clem. It's just
garbage. Launch garbage, basically.
It looks all right to me. I could get into a game like that, but I have weird tastes sometimes. But it doesn't look terrible to me.
It's not weird to like God of War. This is basically like Roman God of War, right?
But God of War is good. People walked away from God of War impressions stoked, and people are not walking away from this stoked.
Oh, well, I'm not paying any attention to that. So.
Oh, okay. I'm paying attention to it all.
Yeah,
I'm reading it all.
I'm also looking at how good NBA 2K14 is looking on PS4, because damn, that is a very, very handsome
Hey, that's
game.
1080p on Xbox One.
Nice.
They got all the P's.
Got all the Ps.
They got every P they could into LeBron.
Yeah.
So is that coming out for PC, like everything?
It's already out for PC.
Oh. Yeah.
It's already out for everything. That's why it's a day one.
But it's also got the whole, $30 PC version that's just the game and not all the random crap.
What's the random crap?
I don't know.
Oh.
My JEM
You're saying just the
career.
game, like I didn't expect it to be...
Well, like when we've tried to do NBA 2K13 multiplayer, the only thing we could do was try to press the button at the same time until it randomly chose us together. We
On
couldn't
PC?
make friends. Yeah.
They fixed it?
I don't...
Oh.
I haven't heard anything like that, but part of the thing was that they just didn't care about, putting all the multiplayer stuff in the PC one.
yeah.
Oh, wait, you're saying $30 for no multiplayer, and you have to pay more for multiplayer?
It's not simply no multiplayer. That's just one of the things that the PC version has or doesn't have that the console versions do have.
But there's no more expensive version with multiplayer.
Right.
Oh, gotcha.
The multiplayer is pretty sad on PC.
Yeah, I remember you guys talking about it.
Yeah. So, and they might have other customization options and stuff, but like, the way that I was playing, I got like the mods that people were putting out 9 months later with, the 1992-93 season, which is a lot more exciting.
Next gen!
What season is that, Rowan?
1992-93 Chicago Bulls.
Oh, snap. Sorry, I just never miss an opportunity.
Couple more next gen questions for you, Jay.
Shoot.
Should we go physically buy Assassin's Creed 4 so that we don't have to wait for 20 gigs to download when we plug in our
This is what I was going to ask you, in fact, next anyway, so I'm glad you brought it up. I just pre-ordered Assassin's Creed 4 on Amazon or whatever.
Oh, really?
To get the disc because...
You probably buy it early from a store.
Well, it comes out on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And the system doesn't come out until Friday.
Right.
So the game actually comes out 3 days before.
Right. That's what I was thinking. I'll just go pick it up.
I ordered it, so I figured the game will be like I should get it before I get the system.
It's always exciting when that happens because then you can read the manual.
Yeah,
study the map.
Yeah.
Memorize all your spells.
Yeah.
Is it a little weird that it's out? Like it's out on 360 and PlayStation 3.
Yeah, it is, but I'm excited to see what. Like, I bet that game's gonna look incredible.
Yeah,
because that's one thing I've always liked about all the Assassin's Creed games is that they're very like.
I was gonna say it and then I did it,
but on your TV, it looked like a PC game on your TV.
PC.
Not one of my PC games.
Are you beefing up your PlayStation friend list to get ready?
No, I haven't touched that. I assume that it will carry over. I hope I can remember like my password and stuff.
Right. Yeah, didn't you get locked out of Steam the other day?
Oh, yeah.
You were
we got some desperate texts
crisis
from Jay.
mode.
That new.
You were like, I guess I won't be able to play my Steam games ever again. Fuck you, Steam.
The world's gonna see your shit.
Basically,
someone's gonna have to do a lot of editing.
Yeah, I know, but hey, what?
Why do I give a fuck?
I think it's time for some next gen. The last podcast of this console generation.
Didn't we just interrupt Jay in the middle of a story?
Jay got locked out of Steam.
Totally interrupting me. That was completely inappropriate.
It was for next gen.
We should have had Jen Frank on here. She could have been the next gen.
She's moving.
Oh, that's a bummer.
She going back?
I guess so. I don't know.
Anyway, Jen didn't get locked out of Steam, but not that I got locked out, but I picked up that newest Humble Bundle, the Warner Brothers one with the Batman games, the first 2 Batman games, and Scribblenauts and
that Lord
of the Rings strategy game.
Action game.
It's an action
person
game?
like Rise or something.
I thought it was a strategy game.
They have like 2 War in the North games, one of which was like a wannabe Dragon Age, and one of which was
a MOBA?
Real-time strategy game. No, the MOBA is like Heroes of Middle-earth or something.
The one in that Humble Bundle is like a third-person action game.
Huh. So that must be the Dragon Age clone.
Yeah. But there's like the...
But it's not an RPG, I don't think. I think it's like God of War or Rise or something.
No, I think it's like a Mass Effect-ish RPG-ish.
What, War of the North?
War in the North, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's got like moral choices and shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to add those games to my Steam account, and now on the Humble Bundle site, you have to connect your Steam ID to the site, and instead of just clicking on the give me the Steam key, and then you copy and paste it into the Steam client, you can't do that anymore. So I had to log in, and I was like, oh crap, I've had Steam on auto login for 6 months. I do not remember my password.
I only remembered it when... Actually, they had like a password crisis kind of thing a year or 2 ago, so I changed it, and then When I was like, I went to my parents during the winter Steam sale last year. So I'd log in using my phone, and I'd have to type it in using the phone every time, which is a really good way to remember it, especially when it's like 30 characters.
That game is an RPG. That Lord of the Rings game. I just looked it up.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
I think we would have heard a lot more about it if it was actually cool.
Steam's weird too because I have my old. I signed up for Steam with my Hotmail account like years ago, and you can't. I can change the email that they use to send me stuff, so they send all my stuff to my new email, but I can't change my login email. It's still Hotmail.
That's how I am with like my Xbox account or Microsoft account and stuff like that. It's just I've had that same stupid, really, really old email for like 10 years. Mm-hmm. So that's what it is. Anyway, you get, I mean, I feel the hype waning a little bit.
It's hard to stay hyped about games that you haven't actually played.
We aren't hyped in any games. We made that.
We made that abundantly clear. There are
we
no
want
games
to turn it
be
on
hyped
and like
about.
go through the menus. I'm hyped to have a new piece of like hardware.
I signed up for Amazon Prime so that I can stream more movies through my PlayStation 4 in 1080p when I get it.
Oh yeah, but that's on PlayStation
720p.
That's on PlayStation 3, right?
1080p. Why isn't it 1080p?
I don't know. Look at NeoGAF.
No, it's 1080p.
Jay.
Oh. Woo. Whoa!
That was good.
What was I going to say? That's already on all our systems, isn't it?
Well, you have to sign up for Amazon Prime. That's the thing that you pay for.
Oh, right. But it's already, you could do that now on your Xbox, I think.
I think that technically it has the ability to do that, but when was the last time you actually got a Netflix movie to like stream in HD?
They always stream in HD.
Really?
Yeah.
There's something weird with my Xbox doesn't
What
really
do you
want
use?
to do it.
You use your Xbox to do it?
Yeah.
I've been using my Apple TV. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Well,
had
no, but that was my point though, that it was, we're talking about comparing it to an Xbox 360.
No, I've used my
and
Xbox and it's been fine.
Okay.
I was just saying lately I've been using the Apple TV. That's because I'm waiting for my Xbox One. So
I mean,
can
there's
talk to my Netflix.
There's no problem with my internet. It is, as we've established on the show, it can stream stuff
It can depend
in HD.
on so many things. It can depend on Netflix. It depends on which movie, what television show, all kinds of stuff. And in fact, now they have like an Uber HD thing that's even better. So
I want to throw the bucket on a little bit of hype. I saw a quote that said that Assassin's Creed 4 was the best Pirates game ever, and I wanted to, anti-hype that.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
but it is.
You can't troll me. I know you.
Well, maybe it is. You haven't played it.
I
right?
bet that reviewer hasn't played Risen 2.
I've played Risen 2.
I mean, when you've got The Secret of Monkey Island and Sid Meier's Pirates,
Right.
You've got a pretty big hill
So that
to
means
climb.
Assassin's Creed 4 is pretty good. It's better. Assassin's Creed 4 is better than Secret of Monkey Island and Sid Meier's Pirates.
And that Konami game, Uncharted Waters, as like a Pirates RPG. People really like that game.
Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar.
It was Super Nintendo and maybe Genesis.
And that unreleased Pirates of the Caribbean MMO.
Yeah. And that Puzzle Pirates game.
Yeah. And ninjas versus pirates.
And that Space Pirates game.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
all I got.
that sure brought the show to a screeching halt. Pirates.
Not enough good Pirates games, but there are classic Pirates games. And Assassin's Creed 4 can be below them.
I saw Ender's Game.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, I thought you were cool. I didn't think you were homophobic.
Oh no, I'm totally homophobic.
Okay, then
Why
fine.
would you think that?
Just wanted to make
Why
sure.
are you gay? You're not gay, are you?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, well, here's the end of the podcast.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
going to have to pick sides.
I thought they said that Orson Scott Card was getting no money from that movie, so it was cool to watch it again.
I don't.
Oh. I don't care.
Well,
I mean,
Yeah, the deal was like a one-time payment, but if it's successful, then it's more likely there'll be a sequel, and it's already got a bunch of people buying the books, so,
Oh yeah, sure. Anyway, I thought it was cool.
cool.
Not cool if compared to the book. It was like I saw it with my girlfriend, and she was super mad that it was all the stuff that was different in the book. The pacing was messed up. The tone was awful compared to the book. But just as a standalone movie, it was cool. It was
Okay.
fun.
That's all you can hope for.
Yeah.
Josh and Jay's movie reviews.
Yeah.
It's not our first.
Definitely won't be the last.
It's got game in the title. It counts.
Oh my god. Is
That's
anybody
right.
playing any video games?
Yeah, why don't we take a quick break and then come back and talk about what we're playing? Because I think
That's ridiculous. Why would we do that?
I think the hype train has left, but I definitely have some games I want to talk about. I have one game in particular I'm really darn excited to talk. I can't even speak. Anyway, we'll yeah. And we're back.
Can we do a Kickstarter to get you like an office chair?
Not really.
No. Would you like an office chair?
Yeah, for me.
Oh.
We need a Kickstarter for a new ass pillow for Rowan.
I was thinking about going to Target and getting some sort of actual chair cushion for him.
We'll figure it out. So games.
Video games. This whole
Yeah, should we talk about video games that we've actually played, or just talk about
I would want to say
magical boxes that are going to make our lives better? in
we're
2
done with
weeks?
our next gen lack of hype section, but I would say there is a game that I am excited to play actually for next gen, and it's Zoo Tycoon for Xbox One, which looks kind of awesome.
Micromanagement game.
I like those types of games.
I could see that. I could see that turning you on.
You can use the Kinect to clean up elephant poop.
That's
Why?
Why not? Why not? But with Kinect.
wow. That sounds great.
Yeah.
I have not dove into many of those Tycoon games. I think the last one I played was like a roller coaster Tycoon game back in college.
Yeah. They're a good time, yeah.
So what did they put in a Zoo Tycoon game in a modern, like, sort of modern generation of games to make it
You
interesting?
can clean up elephant poop. Using
Oh, right.
Kinect. I thought. Get with the program here. Talk about your game.
It's a worm. It's a pill. Gives worm. You just don't get it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What more? Kinect is redeemed.
Right. Kinect is totally redeemed. Rowan, you excited for Zoo Tycoon?
I don't like those games.
You do?
I don't.
No,
he
you
does.
don't.
Are you kidding me?
I might. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't played them since Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I didn't really like that.
Yeah.
Way too much vomit.
Way too much vomit.
Okay, but I'm staring down a shotgun barrel of Rise or Zoo Tycoon. Okay, like I'm buying. My thing costs $500. I'm gonna play a game, and I can't believe we're stoked on Assassin's Creed 4. That's like the definition of insanity. That we're just like, yeah.
It's got pirates.
At least you like some of those games. I've liked.
you thought you knew about video games.
I've liked none of those games so far and played all of them. And still, they got me again. I can't wait to play.
I liked some of them.
No, you liked Brotherhood.
I liked Brotherhood was real good. Assassin's Creed 2 was real good when that came out, and how that was such a humongous improvement over the first one. I was really into it.
The general consensus seems to be that this is up there with those. So
It's like the first one was a really solid first effort. It was janky, super janky, and they had some stuff that they needed to work out. And then 2 was a huge improvement, and then Brotherhood was even better, although they added a lot of extra kind of superfluous stuff that the game didn't really need. And then the next...
Wait. Ubisoft did that?
I know. It's not like them at all. But and then Revelations was a complete mess of weird, extra, random, goofy stuff that is
So it looks like Assassin's Creed 4 has a good shot to be in the top 50th percentile.
Assassin's Creed 3 was a nightmare.
Assassin's Creed 3 was
Just
a
like a
total
nightmare.
nightmare. I don't understand how a game that had such good like production value for the most part, and the world would seem like it was built like pretty well.
Yeah, it was a cool setting.
But yeah, that was kind of a nightmare. So 4, back in action with the naval combat. That's all I want to do is play more naval combat, and I guess there's a lot more of that.
We've talked about this on the show, but you like manifested this game out of the ether.
I willed it
Yeah.
into existence.
A couple years ago. Oh my god! I'm sorry. I was driving my car the other day, and I remember, didn't we see a Deadpool trailer like a year and a half ago and talk about it on the podcast?
Yeah, that game came out.
It did?
And it was just mediocre.
Oh, okay. I was like, that game never came out.
Yeah, it was Nolan North as Deadpool.
Oh, it really did come out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry to derail. I was just like, what happened to that thing?
No, that was, yeah.
Well, we kind of got derailed from talking about games we've played to talk about Assassin's Creed 4 some more.
That's because I was so excited. I thought of a game I might want to play on a next-gen console.
What game have you been playing, Josh?
Let's let Jay start.
Yeah, I'm ready to dive in
I
because
know
I've
you
been
are.
playing.
Yeah, so let's have Josh
Because I've been
start.
playing. Thanks. I've been playing Brothers. I finished Brothers, A Tale of Two Brothers, as Rowan calls it.
And I'm so glad you did because I finished that game a while ago and I could not wait for you to play it because this game is just. I knew you'd love this game.
So we mentioned it last episode because I had just started it. I was like, oh yeah, this game's really cool. It's got a really interesting control scheme, which uses the dual thumbsticks on the gamepad in a pretty unique way, where you use the left thumbstick to control the older brother and the right thumbstick to control the younger brother.
And it's like a beautiful kind of. It's beautiful and it's like kind of a grim fairy tale type.
It's very grim.
Yeah.
That's one thing I wasn't expecting when I started the game, was how freaking dark it gets.
Mm-hmm.
That game is really brutally dark.
Right. But it's all kind of beautiful and cartoony.
But it's super, it's all whimsy. Yeah. That game is just all like really soft colors and like watercolor landscapes, and it looks like a fairy tale. But the subject matter is real dark, and it's about these two brothers who go out on a quest to find like some cure for their ailing father who's like dying.
Right.
So they go out on a quest, on an adventure, and it's pretty much kind of like a puzzle platforming game where you just sort of navigate your way through from point A to point B.
There's some eco
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
And no one talks, right? They just kind of gesture and pantomime.
They sort of speak gibberish. It's all like baby talk.
So were you as delighted as I was when you found like the little extra things you could do with
Yes.
those characters?
Yes.
And how the brothers would interact differently.
Yes.
Like the younger brother would see someone like mopping and go like grab the mop and mess with them or something.
Uh-huh.
But if you use the older brother, he'll go and actually like take it and like help the old lady mop.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only controls in the game are the navigation sticks to move each of the brothers around, and then the triggers are like an action button. Mm-hmm. And the left trigger is for the older brother, right trigger for the younger brother. And those are that's it. Those are the only buttons and controls you use for the
Did you
game.
find yourself doing what I did, I guess because the way my brain works, to try to orient them so that the
older brother's on the left,
Yeah.
the younger brother's on the right,
Right.
because that's how the thumbsticks are laid out.
yeah,
on
and
the
they
controller.
would get backwards, and I would lose my mind.
Yeah, it can't cross the streams.
Yeah.
Have a seizure.
It's a good game.
It was a great game. I don't know how much. Like, I really want to talk about how the ending of that game made it so worthwhile and impactful and brilliant.
Talk about
as really, like, it sort of spoils it. So if you're interested in playing this game,
Does it?
I don't know.
Did you not? As soon as you started playing, kind of see the whole progression of that.
Would people have any particular reason to play this game other than it being mildly clever, unless you said what goes on at the ending that makes it so impactful? Or at least something about how the ending is so impactful. Because, what I'm hearing now is, this is a clever conceit.
You should play this game because every single person that plays this game says to you should play this game.
Well,
That's enough, isn't it?
Then we can stop. But if Jay wants to talk more about it, then we should continue.
no, I'm going to go ahead and spoil some stuff that happens because
talk
I just
about it.
want to talk about how brilliant it is. So
Yes.
if you want to go in completely...
It's a short game. Pause the podcast, go play it, and come back.
Yeah, that's too.
really
You can,
short.
you
It's
can
like
What if
three
they're on
hours
the
long.
radio?
you can finish
You
it
can't
in
pause
3
the
to 4
radio?
hours.
You can't pause the radio. Yeah. And what if someone's in their car and their radio's broken and it's always on and it's always on KWTF and they have to listen to these spoilers?
Well,
Then they'll enjoy the game more.
yeah, just crash real quick. Just drive off the road.
I don't think they're spoilers. I think this is a fairy tale and fairy tales are always like this.
So
Grimm fairy tales are always like this.
So all I'll say about the little Easter eggs in the game are that there are events and like little characters you can interact with that are sort of extras. You can pass through the game without ever doing any of this stuff, and it doesn't affect your progress at all. But they're great. Like you come across a guy who's like hanging himself from a tree. Josh, did you come across that part at all while you were playing? You could walk right by him and just ignore it. And
in fact, I learned too late that there was a bunch of extra stuff. Not too far in, but I missed something in the beginning that bugs me. There was like something with, were they pigs or goats? Sheep. I missed an achievement with the sheep.
Yeah,
because I didn't know at that point.
You got to dunk the sheep in the black soot.
Yeah, that's a spoiler.
Yeah,
because that's a puzzle spoiler. But
it doesn't do anything other than give
gives you an achievement. I know, but I didn't realize. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is this game had a lot more going on than I realized, and that it had a lot of extra stuff. And once you figure that out, it's a lot more fun. I think for me it was.
Yeah, it's much more fun.
You learn about the brothers. You learn about their personalities through these little interactions.
Well, basically the whole game is like the way that the brothers interact with things differently sort of creates these personalities and this relationship between the two of them. Like that's sort of how they tell the story of their relationship. Is through all these little interactions. And by the time you get to the end of the game, there is a tragedy that strikes where you're left to only control one.
What could it be?
Only control one of the brothers. Uh-huh. And what's brilliant about that game is that you spend the whole time navigating these two characters with two thumbsticks simultaneously, and it's hard at first. Mm-hmm. It's like pretty difficult to wrap your brain around doing that accurately right away, for sure. So as you play, you get better and better at it. And at the end of the game, when you're left to only control the one brother, and it's with the right thumbstick, because that's how you control that brother, I was like, this game is brilliant because at this point, I am good at controlling the brother, like using the right thumbstick for navigation instead of the camera control that games usually use the right thumbstick
and
for.
You miss the other
and
control.
You miss the other control. Yeah, it feels like you actually feel like you're only like you can physically
Rowan's
feel
over there
something
like,
missing.
You humans with your earth emotions.
No, this sounds cool. I get it.
So it
but I don't need to play it now. You've spoiled it.
Yeah,
you're right.
There you go. Don't need to play it.
You get it. But
that's a quote from Josh and Spec Ops.
It was such a perfectly like succinct experience.
There's a scene when you're just controlling the one brother that's very similar to a Walking Dead scene that all of a sudden you have to the pacing slows down tremendously and you have to move so slow.
Oh yeah.
And that was a super bummer.
But that part's not very long.
I know, but I was like, come on, like I don't like playing video games.
You're talking about the part with the wolves. Yeah.
I want to kill stuff, man.
No, I just wanted to be done. I by the time I get to the like bottom third of a video game, I'm usually just like, come on.
Anyway, the becoming better at controlling the one brother with the awkward thumbstick is sort of like this really great metaphor for how the brother, like once you're good at it at the end of the game, how that brother is sort of like becomes able enough to sort of carry on by himself.
He can solve the puzzles himself.
Yeah,
and so can you.
Yeah, without the help of the other brother. It's great. It's just the way that it told that same story through like the the written script of the game and the mechanics I thought were great. They're just super consistent, like super in line with each other.
And
ludonarrative consonants.
Yeah, there you go.
And just, I mean, I can't say enough. It's beautiful. And
yeah.
then every time you get to a new environment, you just want. Did you sit on every single picnic bench?
Every picnic bench, yeah. I did. There are these little like park benches that you come across in each of the chapters that if you interact with them with both brothers, they sit down and then the camera like zooms into this super like picturesque like panorama of some sort of like mountain scene or
sometimes stuff happens too.
Yeah, sometimes stuff happens. That's true.
I guess that's the name of the podcast.
Sometimes stuff happens.
Why?
Yeah. Anyway, that's a great game. Yeah, for sure. And it's on Steam and Xbox and PlayStation.
It's on everything for the
Is
most
it on
part.
PlayStation?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I thought it was only Xbox, and I'm not sure it got ported to PlayStation.
Yeah,
It's
it
definitely
may,
on Steam.
Maybe.
It may only be on Xbox Live, but it's definitely on Steam. I picked it up for half off, and it's a $15 game. So you can find it on sale for $7.
Did you
Whatever.
read that PlayStation 4, there's going to be a lot of, what do you call, they're not HD remakes. What do you call, you know what I mean? Like, it used to be like,
Wait, give us something here.
like, Flower and,
They're just like releasing them for this console.
but they'll look better, but I don't know, they're not, obviously they were HD in the first place, so. But anyway, if you already bought them, you get them for free on PlayStation 4.
Oh, so that's rad.
That's really rad, and I'm looking at Xbox like, well, hey there, buddy.
like, can I get my my next gen Crackdown going?
Yeah, right, exactly.
From the indie summer of Crackdown.
Well, Minecraft's coming out for the Xbox One, and it's like, I'm sure they're going to make me pay for it, and I'm like, that's not
Probably.
cool. PlayStation's being all cool. PlayStation's doing everything they can to be like, we're cool. We're
Yeah.
the cool ones.
Yeah, they are. They're doing a whole lot. Let me ask you guys, because this is still unclear to me. Speaking of, sort of porting or making older or past generation games available.
Woo. The hype machine.
Yes? What's your question, Jay?
My question is, on the PlayStation 4, will you... Okay, that's getting a little annoying. Will you be able to... will they make, The Last of Us a downloadable title for the PS4? Like, you know how they did that with a lot of
sure.
PS2 games
Sure,
and
yeah.
stuff? Even though you couldn't play PS2 discs on a PlayStation 3, they still put out a bunch of PS2 games that you could download from the PlayStation Network.
Sure,
So I would hope that they would do the same thing with like The Last of Us and Beyond Two
I
Souls,
think
games like that
they
that I
absolutely
want to
will.
play because I don't have a PS3 and I want to play the crap out of those games.
I'm sure they absolutely will, yeah.
It depends. Like, it depends on the technology and why it isn't backwards compatible in the first place. And
Right, but they are...
it's probably the later games that are going to be more difficult.
Yeah, but they already are doing those indie games, so...
Yeah, well, the indie games are probably less
Well,
difficult.
I heard-
It's not like just backwards compatible. It'll be like Final Fantasy X is coming out, and...
Like, that's been coming out for like 3 years.
Yeah.
How long does it take to do an HD remake? That's what I'm talking about.
3 years.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. They will come out, but I think it'll take some time. They'll have to get some B team on it, and
So I would not expect that, especially soon.
But
it's
every
possible that
generation has had it. I mean, like
every generation has a Slayer, and
I think you're gonna see that. Yeah.
but
would
if
you not
if
see
you
that?
want to borrow my PS3, you probably can, unless there's some desperate need I have for it.
That would
Oh.
be so funny if
If you want to borrow my Xbox 360
I probably do. I like Halo.
after next Friday.
Yeah. How funny would that be if right after I get my PS4, I'm like, can I borrow your PS3?
You want to play some Dragon's Crown?
So that always happens. Though.
I mean, the games that historically, the games that come out right around the end of the console generation are the games that are often some of the very best, like God of War, Chrono
Of course,
Trigger.
they've had the most time with the hardware.
Yeah. Like these are the games that aren't necessarily, technologically the most advanced. They're not going to like win any new things, but they're the games that is like, all right, we know what we can do and we're going to make the best game possible.
Yeah, I think it's not. There's not like 100% that The Last of Us is going to come out on PS4 as a digital download, but I think there's a good chance. It'll be a while, like Rowan's saying.
Yeah.
But,
I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but I hope that that's going to be a thing one way or another.
You can play the sequel to The Last of Us.
The Lastest of Us.
Yeah.
How long till we get some RPGs? I guess 2015.
Well, we got
usually takes a year or so.
Yeah.
we got when's Dragon Age 3 coming out?
I think that's next year.
It's
And The
supposed to be-
Witcher.
Oh yeah, Witcher 3.
Next year.
Yeah. I hate stories.
Oh, and there's supposed to be Mass Effect 3 reveal at the VGAs.
Frankly,
There's
I don't
supposed
Mass
to be.
Effect 4?
There's a rumor. Yeah, Mass Effect 4.
Yeah. But that probably won't come out the same year as Dragon Age.
No, it'll be the next year or the one after. But also, Bethesda's out there
Yeah.
being real quiet
Yeah.
about Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Fallout New Boston.
See, when I think about games like Fallout and PlayStation together, it makes me want to cry.
That was just because of the... It'll be different this time.
I know.
But come on, the
That's
mods.
what I
you
want
gotta
it
play
to
that
be.
on PC.
I want it to be different. Well,
Oh, I would prefer to play it on console.
Fallout is... I played Fallout 3 on console, and that was just fine.
Yeah, and if you play it on PC, then it's super awesome. It's way better than just fine.
But I don't think, Rowan, you realize that the last 2 years of all this PC stuff we were talking about was only because we were like kind of forced it. If we could go back to console, we would. I think like you're gonna be playing. You've already said you want to play Dragon Age on your PlayStation 4.
Well, Dragon Age isn't a heavily modded game. Well, it can be, but it's mostly aesthetics and little tweaks and here and there. But the Bethesda games, people go in there and they like take out all the crap Bethesda does or doesn't do.
I prefer my Bethesda games unmodded.
Then you're insane.
I don't know. I guess New Vegas I've been playing modded up, and that has been real fantastic.
Your fourth time through.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
You get the game, when it comes out. You play it vanilla or relatively vanilla the first time, or for a little while, and then you're like, is there a mod that fixes this thing that's incredibly annoying, like the weight system or whatever? And then you look and it's like, oh, wait, this fixes everything I find annoying about the game.
Yeah, I guess I still feel like if there's visual parity or close to visual parity, I like playing on consoles as I don't have to mess with. Like, how much of our podcast are we talking about driver issues and games crashing and like all this stuff?
Yeah, the whole the reason that consoles are nice is that you can just be a dumb video gamer. You can you don't have to mess with fraps. You don't have to mess with the resolution or the anti-aliasing and tweak it so that you're going like, well, how can I get as much like fidelity out of this without losing too much performance? And with a console, it's just like, nope, it's done. Just sit on the couch.
Right, and
play.
even with me, like I play most PC games. No, that's not true. But I play some PC games in my living room. But I still have to do stuff. I have to go to my PC. I have to change where the sound input goes out of. Like I have to do all this stuff. I can't just like turn it on and like say Xbox, Forza, Snap to Skype with the feature.
And then you'd be like, oh crap, this is only 713p.
Well, that's the rub. That's the rub. But with Kinect.
But yes, Bethesda games, like the mods improve those so much. Like I don't think that.
Well, you're really into
ever-
mods, though. I mean, I'm not. So
But you could be.
I've modded. I'm playing.
What have you guys been playing lately that you modded?
I've been playing Skyrim modded for 10 years. Feels like.
I think I'm gonna play some Skyrim later today because I
Yeah?
finally finished my fucking XCOM.
Yeah,
I like that
Oh.
one out.
I play a mod. Oh yeah, you want to talk about the new XCOM expansion?
Yeah, the embargo is up tomorrow morning, so you're not
Perfect.
putting this out. So.
We're putting it up in 5 minutes.
Oh crap! There's no
Exclusive.
XCOM.
Okay.
Okay, so I've been playing the XCOM Enemy Within expansion, which means I've been playing a hell of a lot of XCOM.
Whoa!
Yeah.
You know what? This
You
is
have
really
been.
This is exciting. And
It is
if you
exciting.
are listening on the radio, KWTF, and you want to hear the rest of it, go to joshandjayshow.com. And you can find the video, you can get the iTunes, you can do whatever you need. Thanks for listening, KWTF listeners. Welcome back, everyone. I think it's important to note that all of the hype for Next Gen was in that break while we weren't recording. That we could muster. Like, we were genuinely excited for a moment.
That's true. And now it's gone. I don't even remember what we talked about.
It's as quick as it
Anyway.
it takes off on a black stallion.
Before we took a break, Rowan was talking about the new XCOM expansion, Enemy Within.
This is a really, really good excuse to go play XCOM.
Ah, that's what I was hoping to hear.
This is like what it is.
Let me
I'm
ask-
not sure $30 is a good price for that excuse.
Sure.
I think it might be a little high. I think it might be more like a $20 thing. But
What about someone that, like me, that has played multiple XCOM games, almost to completion, maybe 2/3 of the way through, never finished, really wants to have a complete XCOM game under his belt. Is this a good excuse for me to buy it and go, okay, now this is new enough that I can...
It's a really good excuse to play the first 2/3 over again.
Oh, okay.
It does have one addition that might make it easier to get through the last, like, alien super ship thing where you're, going through the giant goddamn UFOs that never seem to end, and you have the aliens that'll one-shot you constantly. So you'll get a couple replacement soldiers in one of the missions that'll make that a little less of a pain. But the bulk of...
I just want to make sure we're still recording.
The bulk of what's good about Enemy Within is within the first 2/3 of the game. Which is... It's a little disappointing that it didn't, work on fixing the last third, which is probably what needed it the most.
So does it have an all new campaign?
No, it's the same campaign with a bunch of new stuff added.
Oh.
That's why I'm saying maybe it'd be good for me to go, okay, I'll start a new game with this stuff.
Yeah, but that makes me feel like you spent however much you spent on the base game to get a game that you sort of liked, and now if you spend an extra $30, you'll get a game that you really like.
But weren't you just singing the praises that your game of the year could possibly be the expansion pack for Civ? I mean, it's a
No, that was Rowan saying that.
Oh, okay.
I was saying
were
that.
agreeing,
I was
though.
saying that Brothers might be my game.
Oh, but
of
you were
the year.
but
You were
okay.
still
But you were
on
still-
board.
But
the
yes,
train.
Brave New World is, but that's because
That's not
but
a
that's
whole new...
because Civ 5 is like all it is it's a campaign from the beginning of time until like the game ends, and that's Civ.
XCOM is that way too, and I
XCOM
think
is-
XCOM is a better game if you think of it in that way.
XCOM is like Bioshock Infinite. It's like there's always a alien invasion.
there's always a gigantic spaceship
Paris
at the end.
is France is always freaked out, and
Wow.
No,
wow.
There is that weird thing that XCOM has where it's like, should you play this like an RPG where you like only play it once and try to finish it, or should you play it like a strategy game where you like play it as long as you're having fun and then restart when you're not?
right.
And this doesn't really like give you any particular reason to say that that's not the case anymore.
I never thought about it like that, but that is how I play it. I mean, I play it like a Civ game.
Yeah, but I don't think you can treat it the same way because XCOM is, I mean, it uses the global map, but when you have those encounters, it's just like you're going to have the same kind of encounters that progress the same way every game. In a game of Civilization, every game could go a different way. One could focus way more on diplomacy and like building science and technology or culture than it does on actual combat.
With Civ 5, that's the case, but with most previous games of Civ, no, they were typically fairly similar.
Well,
Civ 5 really changed that in like you have to go into it with a very intentional point of view of what you're going to do.
but
But Jay, for a mere $30,
but there were ways to beat the game, and or finish the game on, coming out on top in previous iterations that did not involve just blowing up all your.
No, I see what you're saying, Jay. There's
all
a
your
narrative
enemies.
to XCOM. Because it's a story. With
XCOM, XCOM has
the
the same progression no matter how you play it, whereas Civ does not.
But for
No,
an
Civ does. Civ has the same tech tree every time. Like I say, Civ 5 really, really changed that. Before Civ 5,
I played
Civilization 4 tended to be, you do the same things, and then at the end you figure out, okay, which is the easiest victory or which is the victory that I want to go for. But you're still trying to build as many cities as you can, get as high production as you can, and either declare war or not declare war.
But at the end of every XCOM game, you're on a ship trying to kill the same dudes, trying to get to the same end boss,
No, you're right.
alien person.
I'm just like, yes, it doesn't have the like varied endings at the end, but it's still.
No, but I'm saying that what you do as a player, how you play the game is the same every time you finish a game of XCOM, whereas it's different every time you finish a game of Civ.
Not necessarily. It's not as different as I think you're thinking. Like, when you get toward the end of a Civ game.
Well, I've never gotten to the end of a Civ game, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, that could be
I'm
it.
just kidding.
No one has. They didn't even build it.
Yeah, I like thinking of Civilization as the Tootsie Roll Pop of the video games. Nobody really knows how many licks it takes.
I think it's a mindset, like to think of XCOM like Civ.
It's not
interesting to me.
perfect, but it's not really good to think of XCOM like an RPG, because then you get pissed off at every single 88% shot that you fucking miss.
Yeah, that I do not think of it as an RPG at all. I mean, I think of it more as like a really long, drawn out game of chess. Really, it's just like a virtual chess.
Well, yeah,
match.
but then it's like Civ.
Yeah,
but Civ is more. XCOM,
They're different kinds of games.
Is only
but
putting pieces on a board and strategically moving them around to defeat the other pieces on the board.
There's some pretty different.
But yeah, for $30 you get new boards.
No,
right?
you don't get new boards. It's
Yes,
the
you
same
do.
board. That's what you just said.
You get new boards
Yeah.
and new pieces.
Okay, new pieces is cool. New pieces is a very good start. But you just said that it's the same. It's the same game.
campaign
Same
with
campaign.
a whole bunch of different things added, especially in the early part of the game.
I guess different things didn't really hit me to exactly what was different about it.
Well, then what were you arguing with?
No, I'm saying elaborate, please.
Yes, I mean, why weren't you saying that instead of arguing?
I'm saying it right now.
Okay. You get new maps.
Okay.
I don't know if it's, as many maps as were included, but it seems like there are about as many. There are things like UFOs, when you shoot them down, will land in cities sometimes, and that's pretty cool. So you have like an urban warfare thing and a destroyed city block.
Okay, that's very cool.
And there's like some deserts, and I don't know if there's a snowstorm random one or if it's just like a council mission, but there's a place where you can go that it's snowing.
Okay, well that actually does change things up quite a bit.
Yeah, the new maps are huge. There are also different languages that you can get your characters to speak. There's a bunch of new customization options.
Nice.
They're all European, which is weird. Like, given how many Chinese soldiers you have, you'd think they'd have Chinese. And, Swahili or Hindi or Japanese or whatever. But,
sure.
You can have your character speak German or French or...
Yiddish?
No, not Yiddish.
That's weird because I would like most of the snipers to be from the Israeli army if possible. That would be pretty cool. I'd be like Why the Last Man XCOM edition.
But then they'd have to be like super hot.
They have Polish, which is really weird because Poland isn't actually a country in XCOM.
So you could just make a person from another country speak Polish?
Yeah, you have to. You're not going to get a Polish soldier. So you have to change that.
Well, so these
that means that they're just from Brooklyn.
So obviously these are not languages based on the characters. These are languages based on the translation of the game and what languages the game has been translated.
Although you can select a thing that says, give me all new soldiers that come from that country or a country that speaks that language. You select that and they'll automatically start speaking that language when they do that.
Wow.
Can I get closer to my dream of having a sniper that looks exactly like Boba Fett?
There are a bunch of new helmets, a few new hairstyles.
Oh, we need more hairstyles is crucial.
Yeah, there are only like 3 per gender, which is they're different and good. Like there's like this weird like Pampa hawk that the guys have that's kind of cool, and they can have like a
I'm sorry, like a pompadour / mohawk.
Yeah,
okay,
like a mohawk that's kind of swept to the side sort of thing.
I know.
If Jay's hair was like 3 inches longer,
right.
On the top, but it was still shaved on the sides.
Like a faux hawk.
I get what you're talking about.
Kind of, yeah.
But with that sort of slick comb over.
Yeah, there's like it's like swept in a certain way.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And like there are more of the more long-haired soldiers for the ladies. Well, not necessarily long-haired, but like hair that you can see that's not always in a ponytail.
Wow, that's actually a big improvement because there weren't any.
I think there was one, but yeah.
Probably so gross I just never.
And then there were a bunch of like baseball hats and fedoras and
thank God,
berets.
Can I ask a question about fedoras?
There's a new squatty called the Pickup Artist.
This whole thing, I know people make fun of these nerds wearing fedoras all the time, and I'm not going to do that. But I do have a question. what is, and this is a sincere question, what is the template for the fedora nerds? Like, who's their, like, was there some like character in fiction, like who's
Indiana Jones?
I think it was just a combination of a bunch of things.
have like a
So here's the thing: fedoras were cool in like the 40s, right? In the 50s, when dudes
always wore hats.
Where dudes wore raincoats and always wore hats, and it was actually that carries over from like
the dudes I'm seeing
from the 1800s, where it was like it's weird. You always wore a hat unless you were inside.
Right.
Like, think about like Deadwood.
But
It's
the
like goes back to that.
fedora, the fedora dudes I'm talking about do not appear to be
No, so-
emulating that
so what
particular style.
What I can tell you my impression with somebody who does not waste their time reading like thought catalog posts about fedoras, because I just do not care about it that much. But my personal impression,
What do you do?
which may or may not be correct, is that I see the fedora thing as like people who don't know like who they are. And
get a hat.
and they're like I can be the fedora guy.
Right.
And they think that being the fedora guy is better than being whoever they are.
I can get that because
And like
yeah,
I
can
think
get behind
that's
that.
kind of I think that's kind of sad more than anything.
It's
so
sad.
So
It's
that's
totally
why
sad, but-
that's why I don't think it's really worth picking out. I mean,
But
if you're
check it
just a
out.
dude who wears a fedora sometimes because you like it, I mean, whatever, that's fine.
That's
but-
different. We're not talking about that.
But I mean, the guy who like is the fedora guy.
But there's also like the whole hipster thing, which a lot of it is throwbacks to former styles.
these guys aren't.
No, but
Okay.
that is part of the. I mean, the hipster thing basically broke apart in 2003, and it's just become like
I know,
a whole
this-
bunch of
which-
different things.
You guys do
Then
know that there were hipsters in like the 60s, right? That
Yeah,
this
of course.
is not this
But
is not
the
something-
modern hipster thing.
But this is not something that is unique to our
I
generation.
think
the way that some people
I think what Jay was
that it
saying
is.
really helped me understand it better, because especially when you said it was sad. Because
Yeah.
like when I was like, like a freshman in high school, I like was just clamoring for an identity package, like,
Yeah.
and I didn't know what
Well,
it was going to be,
see-
and I found my solace in the weirdo bench in high school.
Yeah, of
and
course.
I looked whack, you
Yeah.
know, and like that's totally understandable.
But there's also the whole pickup artist thing, where part of the pickup artist.
These guys aren't picking up anybody.
No,
Right, well, right.
But they
Oh,
are
that's the
in
irony
that,
of
they,
it.
they are in this kind of they're not necessarily in the culture, but they're in parts of the culture that might be related to other parts of that culture. And the pickup artist thing has this idea. I think they call it peacocking, but it's the idea that you dress so that people remember what you look like.
Yeah.
So
Wait, this is a real thing?
yes.
I think
The idea is to wear ridiculous things so that people will know and remember
I heard
you.
someone say peacocking the other day, and I was
Yeah,
like, what the
I
hell?
think that it's only just something that somebody, like a term that somebody coined that is throwing you off, but that has always been a thing.
Oh, I know.
mean,
yeah.
But I didn't know that. But I've never been the type of guy that like studies up, like
Right, but-
reads books about how to do stuff.
But that's
like,
what I'm saying, that these people, these kids or whoever who are donning the fedoras, like,
Yeah.
this is my thing, do study like what
Right.
That's
How
what
to-
I'm saying. That's kind of sad.
Or they
right?
know
Right.
people who study those things, or they're on internet forums where they see other people
I
have
think-
the fedoras,
I think we may
and
be
then it
going
just
to-
kind of becomes a thing.
too into this, but
yeah,
I
we're
just
going down a little bit of
we
a
can
rabbit
stop.
hole.
I was just wondering, maybe there's like some character in Firefly that dressed like that or something.
I don't think there were hats in Firefly.
Okay.
Ironically enough, when we were
Jane had a really cool, goofy beanie thing, but
I was going to
But
say
that's
when
different,
we were in high school. Well, you're a little bit older than me,
Yeah.
but I think this would still ring true for both of our high school years. If you were to wear a fedora, as long as you played in a ska band, that was fine.
Oh yeah.
Like that was you're just like, yeah, that's sort of part of the uniform. Pork
Yeah.
pie hat, not
Yeah.
that far off.
You maybe have a tie.
I mean, and that's sad in and of itself, but it's not because you're wearing the fedora. Like the fedora
the
wasn't
ska band thing in the 90s, though.
right. Fake and Jamaican.
I think I'm looking down from a lofty position and making fun of someone in some way, or seeing something sad. But when I really put myself into a mindset when maybe I was a little less confident or together, I can sort of get like
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to look down on it. I'm trying to say, like, I get what it's like to want an identity that other people are going to want to be like around or something.
Yeah, they just don't know that it's not.
They just
awesome,
don't know that it's like fucking pussy repellent. I don't know what I don't know what else to say.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's getting pretty crass, but seriously, it's like having the opposite effect.
When's that XCOM expansion come out? Tuesday?
I think Tuesday.
Okay. Try to get this up on Monday.
The
Embargo's Monday?
the embargo is like 7 a.m. tomorrow, and that might be Eastern, so whatever.
Get it up tonight.
Wait,
4 a.m.
doesn't so the new XCOM expansion comes out, I assume Tuesday?
I think so.
We just...
The new BioShock Infinite
Yes.
DLC also comes out Tuesday?
Yes.
It's 2K Tuesday.
There's always an alien. There's always a lighthouse.
So the big, first I wanted to say that my Fedora character on XCOM was, I believe, in my very first mission, and she survived to the last mission.
See, fedoras on women are pretty sexy.
Oh yeah.
Like, in fact, did you know?
Slash anything.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, slash anything. Did you know that fedoras were originally like women's hats?
No.
Because men wore like these big ass cowboy hats. Fedoras are smaller, like
Yeah,
around.
sure.
So they were like women in the around the turn of the 20th century, right? In like the early 1900s, women rocked fedoras because men rocked like much different hats. They either rocked like those weird tall hats or those bowler hats, or some were still rocking the cowboy hats. And fedoras were like the female version of like, I don't know, women wearing more masculine hats.
Did they also wear like a trench coat and carry like the atheist handbook with them?
I think so, and like a scarf, gloves, cigarette in a cigarette holder. The whole. Yeah,
I think we're talking about Emma Goldman now.
maybe. I'm just saying the fedoras on women. Good look. I like that look.
Oh yeah.
So,
But she lasted the whole goddamn game.
new units and all this stuff, but the gameplay mechanics themselves remain unchanged.
I mean, the core like move, shoot sort of thing.
There's no
is
new like
relatively-
barter or something like, you know how Civ will introduce kind of new.
The main thing that changes like in the tactical screen is that now there's this thing called meld, which is a new strategic resource. It's like money, that you only get like 10 meld from every mission, and then there are 2 canisters of meld in most mission that
I'm just
get.
picturing like big, huge drums of grilled cheeses.
It's pretty much what they are.
Okay.
Glowing grilled cheese. but yes.
Yeah, grilled cheese. Give me a meld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds
but
good.
they will
Does sound good.
They will go away if you don't get to them quickly enough. So there's now a reason in the tactical mode to move quickly, which there wasn't really before.
Yeah.
In the tactical mode beforehand, it was get the best cover you can and try to pull out as many aliens as you can, or get impatient and get
Is
shot
that
up.
fun or interesting?
Yeah, I mean, having a reason to try to move quickly will make the battles more dynamic.
But does it turn it into more of a real-time strategy game?
What do you mean by a real-time strategy game?
I mean, if there's a time limit, then...
The time limit is turns. It's like it goes away in 5 turns.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Oh, that was like Final Fantasy Tactics. If somebody died, you had like X amount of turns to get to their body.
Yeah.
Well, XCOM has that.
Never
and
mind
still
that. I
has
thought it was
yeah.
literally.
Oh, that's right.
I thought
Yeah.
it was literally like a clock timer. Like you had to make your moves within a certain amount of time. But that
no.
obviously makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. And the meld is used in order to do either gene enhancement or cybernetic augmentations for your soldiers, which the cybernetic augmentations turn them into giant fucking robots.
Yeah, I read about that. It sounds
cool.
rad. It turns them into like Gundams, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
robot jocks.
And they are super powerful, but they can't take cover, so you have to really be careful with them because they're so powerful you don't want to lose them. And they require a lot more work to level up because like they'll kill like 5 aliens on a mission and that won't level them up, or if you
Whoa.
killed aliens, 5 aliens at any other guy, they wouldn't level level up immediately.
You can only have like one in your party at a time,
No,
right?
you can have they're not that, like, you only really want to have one, maybe 2. Like, they're really good for the chrysalid missions because they can punch all the chrysalids and the chrysalids can't punch them.
Nice.
But yeah, I was eventually started going through my much later game missions without using them because the cover was just so much more helpful. But yeah, I usually had 1 and occasionally 2, but The other thing is the gene modifications will like enhance your soldiers in ways like you can give them a second heart so that anytime they get killed, they will still be alive. You can, as long as you get to them within 5 turns and revive them.
Gotcha.
And they won't have the penalty of losing will or whatever when you do revive them, like everyone else does.
That's cool.
And have things like every time they get a kill, they release alien pheromones that make everyone around them do more attack. So if you give
That's cool.
one of your assault guys that, then
they get all coked out on alien pheromones.
Yeah.
And say hello to my little friend. Nice.
So they added like buffs and stuff, like more.
Yeah, they added more of the little things that would make your soldiers more individualistic, more powerful, more reason to like really get into knowing and naming each soldier.
No, that's actually a really great addition, because if there's one thing that I think XCOM left room for, it is that the dynamics of each character could have been more complicated.
Yeah.
Like
right.
I could handle some more stats and some more micromanaging coming at me than what the base game came with. Not that it doesn't feel like a satisfying experience, but I'm glad to see that they made that that they built that out a little bit more, because they left room for it.
Yeah, the things that they've added to were good things to add to. The problem is, well, I play on Classic, and Classic is like, if you're playing on normal, when you get your big money batch each month, it's like, okay, I can buy 8 things and I have to choose which 4 or 5 of them. If you're playing on Classic, you get then it's like, okay, I can buy 1 or 2 things. So that makes it a little harder to use the meld stuff earlier. So I ended up with like 250 meld before I could even actually use it on like enhancing my soldiers' genes. Or when I started with the genes, that wasn't as useful as starting with the robots. The robots are definitely start with the robots first, people.
Is your review up?
No, it'll go up hopefully tomorrow, but
Okay, and that's on ours?
yeah, it's gonna be on ours.
Okay.
Cool. We'll post a link for sure. Nice. Are you? It's been a little bit since you've written for ours, right?
No, I've actually been writing for them a lot more lately.
Have you?
Yeah, I did the Final Fantasy 14 review and
Oh, man.
Rome 2.
I think that site is so great because they seem to stay away from all that like just like gross stuff that like some sites do.
I like that the arguments in the comment section of ours articles are usually like about technical stuff and not about political stuff, and I appreciate that, if nothing else.
The comments on my Rome 2 review were not so hot.
Oh yeah, those were great. Is that what they called you, a hipster?
I don't even know.
awesome.
Probably.
Rowan wears 5 fedoras.
Sometimes I just read his comments, like go back to his old articles, and the comments are so great.
I forgot that your Rome 2 review came out on Aris, but that's rad, because that's a great site, and it's nice to see
It's
you
Ars
putting more
Technica,
stuff up on there.
Yeah.
by the way, for listeners who don't know.
ArsTechnica.com.
Technica. I say Technica. That's weird.
Technica.
I don't know.
Karatika.
You might be right. I might be right.
Do you say
Ubisoft.
karateka or karatika?
I always called it Karateka when I was a kid.
I would say Karateka, but I don't know if I said it when I was a kid.
On the Apple II.
Karatika.
Karateka.
Karataka.
But
George Takai.
there's also one other...
Oh my.
There's also one other big thing that the XCOM expansion has, which is like this new human faction called Exalt that like disrupts you when you launch like covert operations against them. So you will fight against humans.
What?
Yeah.
They're the pro
A bunch
alien.
of alien loving hippies.
Actually, there's like some plot stuff that indicates that they're more like the Illuminati, who are more wanting to use the alien enhancements to make themselves the rulers of the planet instead of pro-democracy. But it doesn't really matter.
They're Magneto and you're Professor X.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad way to...
No, I got it.
Professor X and whatnot.
Yeah.
But their missions are actually really
Marvel
interesting
brothels.
because they're usually like
DC
kind of
guy.
defend this zone while they have constant reinforcements come in for a little while. And the whole like defending an area instead of search and destroy is a really good difference that XCOM needed.
Oh, that's great. I mean, that completely changes the dynamics
Sounds
of the
easy.
mission from there being 1 to 2.
Right,
So I mean, it
sounds-
100% gain in the mission variety right there.
But it sounds easy.
It depends.
Okay.
I mean, because they get
Because you're not going out and exposing yourself. Which
But
is,
think about how much more important a sniper would be if you're defending an area than if you're attacking an area.
they make certain classes more useful and interesting, but there's also a lot of them. Like you'll have like 10 or 12 of them coming at you at once.
I can't wait to put Roddy Sniper back into action.
what do you think, Jay? You going to pick this up?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for it to go on sale only because we're like
you're
a couple weeks from Thanksgiving, and I'm spending $500 on a new stupid console. And
No, you're spending 400. I'm spending 500.
no, I'm spending $500 after
Yeah, you gotta buy
tax
games
and the Assassin's Creed game that I'm buying on disc because I'm gonna go ahead and guess that PlayStation Network on day one downloading like 20 gigs is not gonna go over so
Because they don't have the
well.
power of the cloud like Microsoft.
Yeah, that's definitely the reason why.
Yeah, I mean, $30 does feel like a lot. I think XCOM was $50 on PC when it came out, and I'm not sure that this is like 3/5 of a game.
How long did it take before XCOM was included as a free game in every 2K like new game offer or bundle though?
6 months. BioShock Infinite.
BioShock Infinite.
I'm thinking about like Brave New World. It didn't take me that long to wait until that was only $15, and that was Brave New World, a $30 expansion, well worth $30 in my opinion. But I only had to wait like a month, I think, before it was $15 on Green Man Gaming or something.
Yeah, the Green Man Gaming things are worth keeping an eye on. Or the Steam Thanksgiving or definitely Christmas sale. You'll probably get it down to at least 20.
Yeah, I have to. I'm putting sort of a moratorium on my PC game buying unless I see something really good on like a really good sale.
Like the Humble Bundle you just bought?
Yeah, Humble Bundle is different because it's a charity. So like,
He's doing good by getting more Batman.
well, if I'm spending
If that wasn't a charity and was the exact same price, it wouldn't make a difference.
you're right. You're right.
It doesn't matter. Charity's got nothing to do with that.
You're right, but I can.
In fact, you're saying it's because it's a charity, you're paying less. Like you're not like you're saying because it's going to a good cause, I'm going to pay less.
Right.
Instead of like paying more to give more.
But
money
that's
to
because
charity.
I wouldn't.
the corporations need our help.
But here's the thing: I could buy the game if the games were the same price from the publishers. I would still buy it from the Humble Bundle site because I can say, "Oh, all this money goes to this charity, and none of the money goes to the people who actually made the game."
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, bunch of jerks. No, I just think that's really cool that they do that, and whatever. Like Warner Brothers is hurting for money.
You know when Warner Brothers will get my money? When they make it so you can skip the goddamn intro movies to the video game, like the NVIDIA and all that stuff that flashes up. You know what I'm talking about?
I am Josh's Reckoning.
You know what I'm talking about.
NVIDIA screens for everyone.
When you start
I
up
like
that new
that
Batman
Josh is
game,
now Deckard Cain.
when you start that new Batman game, you can't skip all that intro bullshit.
Yeah, we were just talking about this, and Rowan, what game did you mention? That
Borderlands?
Borderlands 2.
Civ also.
No, the
used,
original Borderlands.
Well, Borderlands 2 did it as
Oh,
well.
okay.
Civ
but-
used to do that too. Like
So-
Civ would have you watch that whole freaking introduction, and you couldn't skip it. You couldn't
Well,
just hit the
with
escape key.
Civ, it was that it was loading everything. So instead of showing
Yes.
the loading bar, it just had the intro
Oh, I
play
thought it was
until
just
it
they wanted you to
loaded.
watch it once all the way
No,
through.
no. They were loading. They were reticulating all kinds of spleens and
Yeah.
Blinds.
whatever.
No, it's
Splinoteca.
It's actually spleenase.
Yes. Spleenase.
Splinay.
Should we wrap this up?
Spleenase.
We got to talk Desktop Dungeons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
That's
up with
I
that
totally
damn
forgot
game?
about that. Yeah. What's up?
I've been seeing friend of the show, Gus Mastrapa, playing Desktop Dungeons on Steam.
What is it?
I've been playing it too, but I played it before it came out more than I think I have.
Ooh,
since it came out.
well.
Yes,
La-di-da-da.
I got 2 days of extra play. Woo. So Desktop Dungeons is like a roguelike deconstruction where it like takes the idea of the genre and breaks it down to its absolute most basic point, which is try not to die.
Right. Or you lose all your stuff. Roguelike.
I'm lost.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. Sounds great, man.
I'm glaring at Jay until he eases up a little.
Oh, do the
The world's gonna see your shit!
next gen hype music.
Yeah, Desktop Dungeons is better than any of the new games coming out for the next gen consoles. All right, so what you do is you create an RPG class, like a human mage or an elf monk or whatever.
Why do I give a fuck?
And each of them has very distinct, different things. Like a monk takes a whole lot less damage than everyone else. And an elf will get more mana every time they level up in a certain way. And
It's mana.
more mana.
Different buffs for different toughs.
But it's not random in how much damage it does. So exactly how much experience you're going to get. When you're going to level up. How much you're going to do. So it's kind of like a puzzle that's randomly generated each time using sort of RPG mechanics. And
Is it it's like a turn-based thing?
yeah, it's
But the puzzle is fitting the stats together the way that
Right,
will be the most successful.
right. It's figuring out the best combination of which bad guys do I attack. If you attack, a Naga, then they'll poison you. And poison means you don't regenerate health when you explore. You regenerate health and mana by exploring. And so it's okay, if I attack this Naga and it poisons me, then I will get enough experience to go up a level so the poison won't matter. Or I'll get enough experience that I'll go up a level the next time, so I probably will be okay even when I'm poisoned. But it's got all kinds of those little constant, interesting decisions to make that you have in a roguelike where it's oh crap, I'm going to die if I don't do this. It just takes that and distills it into 5 or 10 minute little dungeons. And it's got a really good little sense of style. It's a very simple game. It could be played in a browser if you have the code for that, but
I could see why Gus has been playing it for so long, because it seems like it is a total Gus ass game.
yeah,
You can play it in your browser?
you could play it in your browser if you ordered it through the website. On Steam, it obviously has its own thing. But
Is it on iPad or anything like that?
not yet. I hope it is, because it would be great. Although if you tap the wrong place and die, then it wouldn't be so great. But
Roguelike.
yeah, it's definitely doesn't have the tech where an iPad would be a bad place for it.
I can't play KOTOR on my iPad because it's a first generation iPad.
Ugh, it's a bummer on the iPad.
Oh, really? Sorry, I don't mean to discourage Desktop Dungeons. I was just...
It's okay.
iPad seemed like such a great device to play games on, and
I know.
and people say oh, these games are great on it, and then the more the reality sets in, it's iPad's just not that great for
I
playing
tried
games.
XCOM on my last vacation on iPad.
Nah.
Yeah, and that seems like a perfect game.
It does seem perfect.
It's just a little. It's just.
Anyway, maybe Desktop Dungeons will be the perfect
Except it's
iPad.
not on that.
Oh, bummer.
It works okay. It's just that you're fighting with the controls sometimes, and that's frustrating.
Yeah. And you don't have as much customization on the iPad?
No, and also, but I have been playing a good iPad game and iPhone game lately. It's it's that Might and Magic strategy game.
The Might and Magic.
It's kind of like a.
I bet Heroes is in the title somewhere.
It's like a match 3 game, but with elves.
Yeah, it's not quite a match 3 game.
It's called. No, it's not. But you do match 3.
Well, you do, but it's not like a Bejeweled. It's
Right. It's turn based. Also, it's not real time. It
Might
is
and Magic.
called Clash of Heroes.
yeah, that's a really good game.
That game is great.
I
love that game.
That game is almost as good as the original Puzzle Quest.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
It's a little too short and not quite. It's a little too. It's not random enough, but other than that, it's a really fantastic little puzzle fantasy.
I'm fairly early
sort of
on,
thing.
or unless they just introduce new units throughout the whole campaign. But
You'd have 5 different heroes that you go through the campaign with.
oh, okay, I'm still on the first hero. Then.
Yeah.
But that game's great. It's a little easier to play on the iPad than the iPhone, though. The icons are pretty small.
Yeah. But Desktop Dungeons is kind of in that. It's in that
Is it free?
cute. No,
Oh.
it's $15, I think.
Oh wow. Damn.
It's worth it. It's
Wow. If Rowan thinks it's worth $15.
Yeah, that's like that means it's like
That means that like
well, Rowan has played it for free enough that he knows that it's worth $15.
okay.
But, if you have $15 and you're like, I want a game where I have to like pick everything I do and be like really into that, and it's really difficult. It's kind of in that sort of XCOM, Puzzle Quest, sort of board gamey
sounds
idea
like
where you
like
can
an
see
8 out
all
of
the
10.
math right in front of you.
sounds like my kind of game.
Sounds like
Yeah.
Like an 8 out of 10.
I would
I'm
probably
kind of
give it like a 9 out of 10.
I'm kind of hearing Jay's pain that I think I need to not spend money on anything until I get my Xbox. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Well, add it to your wish list before the sale.
Jay,
Yes.
is a 50-inch television under $1,000 right now?
It's got to be.
Okay.
Wait, do they have?
They
50?
do. They do have them.
I thought it was 42 and 48. I've never seen 50.
No, they have 50-inch televisions.
To play desktop dungeons on?
No, I'm just saying. Have you been researching that stuff at all?
No.
Okay.
I like. Josh and I have the same Panasonic Plasma.
Yeah.
And that thing is still going strong for me.
Oh, I love that
I
TV.
find no reason to switch out of it. It is so like plasmas, as far as I'm concerned, are where it's at. They're heavy, so I don't want to move it.
I was
I'm
just
happy
wondering
with it.
if it's worth it. Like if the TVs, if a 50-inch that's like $800 is right now, like is that still a good TV? I need to do some research. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. I just don't.
I like how you go for like, $15. So, yeah, I could use a slightly bigger TV.
Oh, does Steam take Best Buy credit cards now?
Probably. You could buy Steam cards, right?
I have as big of a TV as my apartment needs. Like
I
any bigger, and it's just like, I should move.
I'm going bigger this Christmas. I just don't know. I need to do some research.
Well, have fun, Daddy Warbucks.
It's not my money. It's free. It's a credit card.
Oh,
It's free.
perfect. Well,
And on that, I think
I need to
I'm-
make sure that 720p looks as awful as possible.
for your ghosts.
I think that's a good note to end on. The next time that you hear us, we'll be talking PS4. I'll be the only one. I'll be next gen next time, and you guys won't.
God
be.
damn it.
I'm always next gen.
I'll
I'm
be
PC.
like, it'll be hard to record while I'm in the future and you guys are in the past.
That's soon.
How are we gonna sync that
That's
up?
in a few days, Jay.
Yeah.
It's a few days until you can open a box and be like, now what do I do?
I can't open a box for like 2 weeks.
I put in Assassin's Creed 4 and I go blow up some ships with some cannons, fool. What do you think?
I'll be playing
Like
it.
Sid Meier's Pirates.
I'll be playing on my PC in 4K. Chillin' game. I need to go buy a 4K monitor and a graphics card.
All right, better get on that.
All
Next time, we'll see you then. In the meantime, feel free to check out the YouTube video episode.
YouTube.com/
Josh and Jay's excellent
No,
Josh and Jay videos.
I think so. Go to joshandjayshow.com.
Yeah, go to joshandjayshow.com. All the links are on there. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at Rowan Kaiser, at Joshua Doan, at Jay Pullman, at Josh and Jay Show. Send us your emails, questions about next gen stuff if you like, because one of us will be doing that next time.
God damn it.
At Josh and Jay Show at gmail.com. Thanks everyone for listening. We will see you next episode.
The world's gonna see your shit!
Game over.